You might want to think twice before trusting that meat, folks. Hey guys, welcome back. Today it is time that you question everything that you are munching on. Seriously, do you even have a clue what's going into food these days? Now, on top of the list, there's beef. It's a hot button issue with tons of people, but some love it while others are pretty much giving it the side eye. But you know what? It's not just beef that's stirring up some controversy. We've also got vaccines in the mix too. Already, there's this bill in Ohio that would criminalize mRNA vaccines. Here, check this one out.
Well, some Idaho lawmakers are now looking into adding criminal charges for anyone who administers an mRNA vaccine like a COVID or flu shot.
We have issues that this was fast-tracked. There's no liability. There's no access to data. The risk benefit analysis has not been done. There's no informed consent.
What do you think about this, guys? Now they're filing bills that criminalize these vaccines that they've been putting in people's arms and our food? Drop your thoughts in the comment section down below. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if this were true, I'd say that they've been doing this for a while now. I mean, when's the last time that our food tasted right, you know? I mean, there's a lot of foods that I really used to enjoy, and now the taste, the flavor, it's just off for whatever reason. Yeah, there's definitely something there if you ask me. And did you guys see those TikTok videos where people hit up grocery stores with magnets and they slapped them onto certain pieces of meat? The magnets were sticking and everything. Things used to be that, when food says made in the United States or made in USA, it means we wouldn't have to worry about it. But nope. It turns out that the U.S. Department of Agriculture just recently proposed that labels on meat, poultry, and eggs that claim made in USA or product of USA should only be used when it comes from animals that are born, raised, slaughtered, and processed in the U.S. So, all this time, meat companies have been bringing in questionable quality meat products into our market and bragging that it's an American product, when in reality, they may have only done the processing here for all we know. They gave 4 names to watch out for here: Tyson Foods, JBS, Cargill, and Marfrig. Put together, these 4 beef processing companies control about 85% of the meat market. So, chances are we've tasted something of theirs that we thought was a product of the USA. We'll take a deeper, closer look at what these guys are actually doing and exactly why they're being part of the list of companies with the worst food quality practices. But really, guys, here's the deal. Are you cool with these experimental injections invading your food? Or would you rather have a say in what goes into your belly? I mean, who wouldn't, right? You deserve to know every single ingredient that's on your plate. This video is about how you feel when stuff sneaks into your food without your permission. It's also about reminding you that you still have a choice, guys. No need to settle for whatever they happen to be dishing out. In fact, I got a pretty good alternative that you could consider. It's information that everybody should be clued in on. So if you're all about top-notch, trustworthy beef, then definitely stick around to the end of this video. We're gonna arm ourselves with knowledge, take charge of our taste buds, and make some smart choices. All right, guys, time to dive in. Agriculture Secretary Tom Vilsack, he pointed out, quote, American consumers expect that when they buy a meat product at the grocery store, the claims they see on the label mean what they say, end quote. And that's why U.S. Department of Agriculture recently announced a proposed rule that would allow voluntary labels on meat, poultry, and eggs that claim made in USA or product of USA, but only when it comes from animals that are born, raised, slaughtered, and processed in the US. I think it's about time too. I mean, just look at what these meat companies have people believing. A survey commissioned by the USDA in November found nearly 2/3 of consumers believed that a product of USA label meant that all steps of meat production happened in the US. I mean, that's what I thought. 4 beef processing companies, which include Tyson Foods, JBS, Cargill, and Marfrig, control about 85% of the meat market. The way they do this is by importing foreign cheap meat and undercutting American farmers and ranchers by labeling their products of USA. Like the president of the United States Cattlemen's Association said, quote, these big 4 packers shouldn't be able to use our good name as farmers and ranchers of the United States and bring in an inferior product and then repackage it and put our name on it. End quote. Definitely makes some sense to me. What do you guys think? And hey, have you ever taken a moment to search for yourself on Google and had a whoa moment when you stumbled across all the personal information just laid out there for all to see on one of those public listing sites? Oh yeah, guys, it's real. I did a search for a buddy of mine the other day and I was blown away by what I discovered online. I shared that information with him and he was like, whoa, yeah. You will not believe what these data brokers are up to. They're raking in loads of cash by selling off your personal information to pesky robocallers, spammers, and nosy individuals who want to dig into your life and even down to where you live. But guess what, guys? I've got some exciting news to share with you. our sponsor for today, Aura, has got your back. So Aura has this amazing ability to sniff out those sneaky data brokers who expose your information. They'll even take care of sending opt-out requests on your behalf. These brokers are legally bound to remove your details if you ask, but trust me, they make it a real pain. And that's where Aura comes in, swooping in to handle all that hassle for you guys. Oh, and here's a cherry on top. You can give Aura a whirl for 2 weeks absolutely for free using my special link down below. And that's not all, guys. Aura goes above and beyond to keep you and your loved ones safe from those sneaky online threats that you never even knew existed. They've got your back when it comes to safeguarding your digital life, believe me. Setting up Aura is a breeze. No need to fuss around with downloading multiple apps just to cover all your bases. With Aura, you get everything that you need in one neat package: parental controls, antivirus, VPN, password management, identity theft insurance, and more. And the best part? It's all bundled together at a price that won't break the bank. Why stress yourself out trying to stay safe online when you can let Aura handle the heavy lifting? They got your back, taking care of all the nitty-gritty details so you can focus on the stuff that really matters, hassle-free. Think of it this way: you can either let those sneaky folks keep exploiting and profiting off your private information, or you can take control and head on over to aura.com/Ron Yates. From there, you can kickstart your free 2-week trial. It's really a no-brainer. The link is also conveniently located below in the description down below this video. Just go ahead and click away. Now, I looked it up, and these meat companies, they have some pretty questionable food quality practices that's probably gonna make you think twice before grabbing their name off the grocery shelf. So first, there's Tyson Foods. Every year, the Union of Concerned Scientists estimates that Tyson processes a whopping 6 million head of cattle, 22 million hogs, and almost 2 billion chickens. Now, that's a crazy amount of meat, which also means a whole bunch of waste. In 2017 alone, Tyson produced about 49.6 billion pounds of waste just in Arkansas. The biggest animal in the world is the Antarctic blue whale. They weigh about 300,000 pounds each. Now just imagine 1.7 million blue whales worth of waste produced in a year in just one state. Yeah. Thanks a lot, Tyson Foods. But it doesn't stop there. To support all of Tyson's animals, they need over 9 million acres of cropland. Now that's a massive area, about twice the size of New Jersey. Now, unfortunately, their farming practices contribute to soil erosion and water pollution. Not good, right? And that's not the only issue. Tyson has been given the cold shoulder to calls for more transparency when it comes to worker rights and abuses. When it comes to antibiotics, Tyson made a move and banned them in their chickens. But here's the twist. They don't put any restrictions on antibiotics for their cattle, apart from what the law says. Just last year, Tyson got called out by congressional investigators for pressuring government officials to keep their meat factories open during the pandemic. Oh, and here's a fun fact. Tyson supplies chicken to major fast food chains like KFC, Burger King, McDonald's, and Taco Bell. You can also find Tyson chicken in a bunch of grocery stores like Stop & Shop, Publix, and Walmart. It's everywhere. Now, I'm just imagining underpaid workers, probably, drugged up livestock, all living together in one big waste-infested environment. I wonder what kind of meat this kind of place produces. My guess is as good as yours, but I think you get what I'm saying here. Now, moving on to the next name of the suspect list, JBS. Brazilian meat company JBS is considered the biggest meat packer on the planet. Generally speaking, JBS slaughters over 76,000 cows and over 13 million chickens on a daily basis. Now, here's the thing. You've probably had their meat before, but there's a whole bunch of scandals tied to JBS that you might not know about. Back in 2017, they had to cough up a massive fine of $3.2 billion. Turns out that they were bribing Brazilian officials to turn a blind eye to all sorts of different violations. Now, we're talking selling rotten meat, faking export documents, and having meat plants that they were not up to code. To produce human food, guys? Wow. The meat plants weren't up to code to produce human food. JBS also doesn't hold back when it comes to using preventative antibiotics in their beef, meaning they shoot up their cattle with all sorts of antibiotics, even if there's nothing wrong with them in the first place. Funny thing is they want their suppliers to keep track of antibiotic use, but they don't straight up say if the suppliers actually share that information with them. And you won't find specific data on antibiotic use displayed publicly either. And just like a bunch of other companies, JBS also got caught up in allegations of price fixing and lobbying to keep workers in unsafe conditions last year. And here are some of the places JBS meat has been going to, at least according to the 2017 Annual Stability Report. The latest information that we could find about them: Outback Steakhouse, KFC, Pizza Hut, McDonald's, and Burger King. Are you still with me, guys? Yeah, so I know how unsettling this all is, but I know you guys prefer the honest truth over some nice lies, right? Now, with that being said, we also need to know about the final name on the list, Cargill. The largest privately held company in the entire country, Cargill was notoriously named the worst company in the world in 2019 by environmental advocacy group Mighty Earth. Now, what earned Cargill such a distinct dishonor? The more appropriate answer may be what didn't. Damaging ecosystems, allegations of profiting off of child labor, and ranking as a top 10 US food industry polluter with lead, asbestos, mercury, etc. And these are just a few of the examples of Cargill's dark side. Now, regarding the actual quality of the meat, Cargill has a very similarly concerning track record. For instance, a Pulitzer Prize winning 2009 New York Times investigation found that Cargill's own negligence led to a 2007 E. coli outbreak affecting 845,000 pounds of ground beef. More recently, another 78 tons of contaminated Cargill beef caused an E. coli outbreak in 2018. Now, they're also part of the big meat gang companies accused of price fixing and lying about the potential for protein shortages in order to keep its plants open during the pandemic. Now, again, guys, let me reiterate that together with Marfrig, these three huge meat packing companies make up 85% of the meat market here in the United States, and they're all edging out local farmers and ranchers through some pretty shady business practices and food quality practices. I mean, I'm not exactly surprised here. The fact that over 80% of American food is illegal in any other country should be concerning. If the FDA actually searched for food violations, the shelves would probably be empty. Hence, bioengineering food ingredients should also be eye-opening. Now, as for beef, I think you guys would agree with me. We want beef that's never been raised with hormones or antibiotics. We want it raw, organic, straight from the ground, straight from nature. And so that's why local meat producers want to take things a step further and ultimately see mandatory country of origin labeling. As they said here, quote, "We're not saying consumers can't buy from another country. We're saying that consumers should know what they're buying, and they should have the choice to buy a product that was born, raised, and slaughtered here in the United States," end quote. I mean, I speak for a lot of people when I say that some consumers are willing to pay more for a product that's labeled product of USA, and that claim should be meaningful. And under the current rules, it's kind of not. So yeah, this definitely merits some looking into. I mean, am I right, guys? At the very least, those food quality issues should be addressed by these meat giants. So wherever possible, find local farmers you can trust. Hit up farmers markets or make a few phone calls. You just have to connect with the local outfits. Often there are smaller operations, maybe just a rancher with 100 heads of cattle. You got to find their phone number, give them a call, and sign up. Now, in my area, I know that there's several of them. Actually, I heard of one that was so popular that they're booked out like a year and a half. Want to know why? People are catching on to the government agenda and what they're doing to our beef. Things are just not the same anymore, and people want to distance themselves from that mess. So back to the point. Find those good local farmers who have good practices. Now, there are plenty of them out there who are just totally against all that injection stuff and, all that stuff that I talked about earlier in this video. Tons of farmers are speaking out saying that they won't be messing with their animals like that. But either way, trust me, you shouldn't be relying on what's out there in mainstream media anyway. It's a big deal, and it's only getting bigger every day. Things are going downhill. And that means we got to be smarter. Take care of yourself, take care of your family, make good, smart, wise choices, keep prepping, keep learning, keep fighting the good fight, guys. Now, I've contacted a few private beef ranches here in the US, so far they're saying that their beef isn't shot up with the mRNA vax. I recommend everybody else do the same. Now, if we support these family-owned private companies, they'll keep their meat vax free. More on this one in the next one. Oh, and do not forget to protect you and your family today. Make sure to go to aura.com/Ron Yates to start your free trial. Also linked in the description down below, or you can even scan the QR code. Now, we covered a lot of ground today, guys, diving into the crazy stuff happening with our food. Hit up the farmers markets, give them a call. These guys are doing things right and saying no to all these sketchy injections. Remember, it's all about making informed choices for you and for your fam. Support those family-owned, made-in-America food sources and stay away from the big guys with questionable agendas. Anyway, keep learning, keep prepping, and keep making those good choices. We're in this together, guys. We'll navigate the food scene like champs. And hey, making the most of what you put in your body is part of ensuring financial freedom as well, right? That way you can stay healthy and keep making that cash flow. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Thanks for hitting the like button, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Y'all be safe.